Hi, very good afternoon to you. It is Gene from Mavstar Observatory, and yes guys, we have all but there arrived at the 40-degree mark. I don't think anybody is going to argue over less than half a mile. We're there, and we are now entering uncharted territory. As you can see, the 40-degree mark and the current day's pin, and based on those experiments that we have done, which suggest that when we enter the weak field lines, which is what the 40-degree mark represents, we should see, an uptick in the progressive movement of the magnetic North Pole, albeit it should be accelerating at this point. It's currently, in the last half a month, or since the first of this month, travelled 3.16 miles. It's pretty much doing what it did, the previous half a month. Same. We're averaging about 6.2 miles or thereabouts every month now, and we're at a point where the magnetic North Pole is all but marginally moving faster than it ever has done in the last 120 years. And like I say, it's uncharted territory now, where and what will happen next. We have never recorded data of any previous magnetic pole migration. We don't really know the science and the mechanisms behind it all, because it is all just theoretical. Even whatever generates the core in the earth is theoretical. We have tried to experiment to produce the dynamo effect that generates our magnetosphere and our dipoles, the north and south poles, and failed. We've never created a magnetosphere in any experiment, in any laboratory, in any university successfully. I have to keep reminding people that nobody knows about this is going on. Largely 98% of the world's population are completely unaware, and they don't realise the serious effects of where we are at this current point in time. Never mind what happens after this point. It's bad enough already. 25% of our protective shield has declined to this point in time already, and we could be at a very pinnacle point where things dramatically start to change at this point, based on those experiments that we've conducted. We've arrived at a date that we pretty much estimated we would arrive at 3 years ago, and we're here today. And by the time we make the next pinpoint position of the magnetic North Pole in 17 or so days, we will have surpassed the 40-degree mark. I just want to reiterate the importance of what where we are, and what another person who's following this stuff and who's also doing research, what Robert said. It was during the last migration of the magnetic poles, based on lava flow core samples, that it was noted that the magnetic poles flipped somewhere in between the 40 and 45 degree mark. So the poles had migrated between 40 and 45 degrees before they flipped. We're in that corridor right now. And as we have done, closely monitored this for you, we will continue to do that, because I believe today we've reached a milestone, and it is backed up now by other scientific bodies around the world. The conclusions of their experiments are concurring with ours to this point in time. We're probably doing a better job than a lot of the bigger organisations with regards to this. I don't believe that they are monitoring it at a 3-second resolution like we are, and that is only because, you know, I think it is absolutely necessary to do that, because for the first time in human history we are recording it at a high resolution, so we miss not even a single squeak. And at the same time, you guys get to be a fly on the wall as we do this at this observatory for you. And it's only largely been able to be conducted at this level and to this point in time because a few people took it upon themselves to chip in, because they realised the importance of all this. Now, regardless, like I say, of what happens next, doesn't mean that we're not in trouble already up until this point, because 25% of the Earth's magnetosphere has weakened, and for the last 100 years the Earth has been going or undergoing a term that NASA have classified sputtering. This is, you know, a stripping off of the Earth's upper atmosphere, thinning it down, and it's no wonder that when we sit in the back garden, you know, for a short period of time on a nice hot clear sunny day, we get burned very quickly. Someone mentioned in the comment section the other day that the accident and emergency departments over the last week of this fine weather that we've been having has been inundated with people that have burnt themselves through sunbathing. Think about that. I'm pretty sure that this sort of occurrence is rare, but now is becoming more common. If you've got kids and you're allowing them to go outside, make sure they are covered up. I kid you not. You'd probably pay more attention if you heard this on the mainstream media, because that is just because of the level of pacification at which mainstream media now have pulled over us. They've hoodwinked us all into, you know, relying on them for the information. It's criminal that, you know, this organisation isn't being supported by any official department at this point in time. Absolute criminal, because we're the only ones shouting out in the dark a little beacon of light for the, you know, the majority of the people that we serve. You know, 2% of the world's population have found out about this effect and the anomaly that we're currently undergoing because of, you know, the Maverick Star Observatory and Maverick Star Reloaded channel on YouTube. It has came down to this. Can you believe this, guys? Where one of the biggest anomalies that is taking place in our current time is going largely unannounced, unnoticed. These organisations that claim to have our best interests at hand. It's come down to the fact where a few people are having to fund it themselves in order to stay ahead of the flow of information that we provide, because they're certainly not getting it from any other organisation. Just think about that for a moment. We are not only going to see an increase in activity in the accident and emergency departments worldwide, we're also going to see a further increase, let's say that, in cancer cases and in also heart attacks across all age groups, because this has been found that through cosmic rays, an increase in cosmic rays is causing cardiac arrhythmsis effects, which are leading to the deaths of people across all age groups. You can check the facts out for yourselves. It's on the increase, and it is baffling some of the departments because they don't know where to point the finger right now. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking what I'm thinking, but unless we have conclusive evidence of that, we just simply will not know the answer to that, and that is beyond the scope of our observatory, because mainly we are observing simply the progression of that pole because we know what implications are involved. This is damn serious, guys. You know, if you are neglecting the fact that when you leave your front door and you expose yourself to that radiation out there that is coming through a weakened atmosphere, then you know you're playing Russian roulette. Simple as that, with not just yourselves, possibly your loved ones. I cannot emphasize any more than what I have tried to do, at least this week. Now we're getting to the point where we're talking about the causes and the effects and things, you know, practically that we can do to minimize risks. You have to see it as a hazard now going outside, especially when the sun is at its meridian, when the sun is at its highest point of the day, because that is the most dangerous point. That's where we are today. Guys, there is a link down there. We got you here informed to this very point in time on this, and we, as you can see, have been slap bang on the money. Everything is coinciding and backing up what we are saying to this very point in time, and I do predict that at a later date, you know, the knowledge of this anomaly that's taking place is going to accelerate and everybody is going to be aware. I just want to also point out, if you live in the South Americas or the region of where the South Atlantic anomaly lies, you have to realise that you are probably at twice the risk as anybody else on this earth at this point in time. And bear in mind that it's not just covering now Brazil, Chile, and those South Americas, you know, like, you know, South Colombia. It's also breaking apart over the Atlantic Ocean, and one of those parts are now over South Africa. If you are in these regions, you are at twice the risk as anyone else at this point in time on this planet. And that doesn't mean that the rest of the people that are not under that hole in our magnetosphere in the South Atlantic anomaly is not exposed to already 25% increase in radiation, or solar radiation, and also outer solar system radiation or cosmic rays. So we got you here. This today was based on, you know, 3 years research. We got you here today informed. Please, it's a very important day today. Please be one of those people that makes an effort, because 3 years have gone into this and there's a hell of a lot of work that goes on in the background. Make a little contribution today. Make a difference today. I want to see extra people subscribing to us on Patreon, and I want to see more people supporting what we do. Come on, join us here at the Observatory in spreading the awareness of this and helping save people's lives. People's life's work. All as it takes is a little bit of time to fill out, you know, the donation button. That's it. Do your little bit. Help support us. Guys, we have reached thereabouts and I don't think anyone's going to argue with me, we have reached 40 degrees. You take care of your loved ones. I'll say what I usually do. Bye for now.